This video will show you how to install SignalRGB compatible firmware onto your Glorious GMMK Pro keyboard. There are a few things you need to know before we begin. Flashing firmware always has a chance of breaking your keyboard, and SignalRGB assumes zero responsibility for bricked keyboards. Also of note, flashing this firmware will override any custom key maps you have created for your keyboard. With these things in mind, we can begin. To begin, we're going to download the two files in the description, QMK Toolbox and a GMMK Pro.zip. We're going to right click the zip file, and then we're going to click Extract All. And we're going to extract it to a new folder named GMMK Pro. We're going to click Extract now. It's going to open a folder, which this has our firmware in it. We're going to back out of this folder for now, as we need to come back to it later. We're going to take our QMK Toolbox.exe, we're going to click and we're going to drag it into the GMMK Pro folder. We're going to go into that folder, and now we are going to open QMK Toolbox. It's going to open, and it should prompt you to install drivers. If it doesn't, you're going to go under Tools, and now we're going to click Install Drivers. Now drivers are beginning to install. This is going to take a little bit of time, so wait until the window closes. Once that window is closed, we now can proceed with installing our firmware. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the Open button under the local file heading. As you can see, there's two different bin files in here. There's one labeled ISO and one labeled ANSI in our GMMK Pro directory. First thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out if we have an ANSI or an ISO keyboard. If you're based out of the US, you have an ANSI board. If you're based out of Europe, you have an ISO board. I am based out of the US, so I'm going to use the ANSI bin. We're going to click it, and we're going to click it again. And now it has loaded that firmware, as you can see under the local file heading. Now we're going to take our keyboard, we're going to unplug it, and then we're going to hold the escape key while we plug the keyboard back in. Once we do so, we'll see STM32 mini device connected, Win USB. This means that the device has successfully been detected and is in the correct mode. Now we're going to click the flash button, and it's going to flash our keyboard. As you can see, it's erasing everything, and now it is rewriting the firmware. Once this finishes, your keyboard will now be ready to go, and Signal should pick it up.